Wagwan! Wagwan, wagwan, wagwan! Let's go take a little dive in the ocean! Channel my inner Aqualad. Season 1, 2, and 3, not 4. Get that joke? Alright guys, hopefully you guys got the Aqualad joke. I'm not gonna say the joke. If you know the joke, you got the joke. I'm sorry. If you don't know the joke, you didn't get the joke. I'm sorry. You get me? So, what's going on guys? It's your boy Jay Pizzy. We're back with another video. Today we're gonna be looking at Ghoti. Real quick, I got sick again. I'm feeling a lot better now, but if I sound nasally, it's because I'm still, I'm getting over the cold. I feel a lot better. I'm not sneezing through the video. I wonder if I should upload that video of me just sneezing. I was sneezing through the whole video, no joke. I was just sneezing, and I was like, you know what? I ain't even gonna try to do this no more. I'm gonna just upload all the replays. I'm talking about the Ghoti video, and then see what happens. And the Ghoti replays video is doing insanely amazing. So I wanted to do a deep dive of all the different decks that I've been using for Ghoti, because I've been testing so many decks for Ghoti, just to see what works, what doesn't work, what feels the most consistent, what feels kind of slowish. At the end of the day, I think Konami made one big mistake with Ghoti, and it's making their effects quick effects in both instances, right? So if Ghoti was a quick effect on summon, and then you can special summon any water monster from any fish monster from your hand, that would be so much dope, so much better. And if it was a quick effect, if it goes to the graveyard, you can banish it and make one of your monsters gain the attack points. The cards would have been so much better, so much more competitive, in my opinion. Right now, they're very, very susceptible to imperm or effect veiler, right? So if you normal summon them, you can't even activate because they'll just get impermed or veiler before you even do the activation, if your opponent knows what they're doing, right? The other big thing with the deck is that the grind game with the deck, it becomes very difficult against decks like Tearlaments, right? Because Tearlaments just has a better grind game. I'm sorry, it's nothing you could do about it. So it struggles in the long run. The only way you don't struggle with the Tearlaments matchup is if you're able to banish their Kit Kalos, and you're also able to banish their Root Kalos or their Kaleido Heart. So Tearlaments really can't do anything if Root Kalos or Kaleido Heart are gone, because they kind of need each other. If they don't have each other, then you're basically sitting with a dead card, just probably, right? Because usually Kaleido Heart gets rid of anything that gets put on the field that can get rid of Root Kalos without special summoning, and then Root Kalos can stop anything from being special summoned, right? So you need the two of them in conjunction to be able to work. But with this deck, it's easy to banish. You just got to know exactly when to banish. Like for example, when they activate their whichever fusion in the graveyard and you have the ability to fusion summon, not into your level 8 but into your level 6, I would say that's when you fusion into your level 6. And if it's possible for you to get Snopios on field, you want to make sure Snopios always targets Kit, because if Kit leaves the field, like how they use their effect to send Kit to the graveyard, then Kit get banished instead. Little stuff like that, right? So so again, back to the Ghoti deck. Let's jump in straight into the different deck lists, and I'll break each one of them down. So the one I've been playing that has been giving me amazing replay vibes, right? So it gives you super nice combos, it looks good for the replays, is this version, right? The Deepsea King version. So the Deepsea King version basically all revolves around you getting Deepsea King out onto the field, right? Deepsea King is an amazing card. It can actually banish one of your own fish monsters. So in case your opponent tries to imperm it, or it tries to effect veiler it, or they try to Kaleido Heart it, anything that targets it, you could just banish one of your other fish monsters and negate the effect. That came up a couple times with me when I was playing with the deck. I know there have been times where I've gone into the Link monster, special summon Deepsea King from my hand, and then my opponent would try to veiler, imperm, or Kaleido, or select my Deepsea King, and I could just tribute the Link monster and negate that effect, right? So Deepsea King has its own built-in targeting protection once you have another fish on the field. Now, the other effect that's super important is the effect to be able to special summon your fish monsters from your deck. Now, if you guys watch the replays video, which a lot of you have, it has so much support right now. I think it's up to 77 likes. Let's get that shit to 100 likes. So that's why we're doing this video, so that you guys, so I could talk about this deck, right? Because it's gotten so much support on the channel, right? So Deepsea King, when you get Deepsea King onto the field, now you get to combo off, right? So you get to special summon a whole bunch of monsters from the deck. Now, I'm going to stop you right here and say this. This is where this version of the deck is super susceptible to max seed. Like, if you get max seed on the activation of your Deepsea King, just end your turn. Just end your turn, because they're able to now draw 4 cards. That really doesn't help you, doesn't vote the best, right? Oh, I think it's 1 card they get to draw. But if you continue synchro summoning, then they'll just draw a whole bunch of cards, and there's really nothing you can do about it, right? So the best you could do is probably go into Baron Pass, right? So Deepsea King, once you get Deepsea King on the field, your best targets for Deepsea King is Launcher, one of your level 4s. It can be any of your level 4s. I usually go for Leech. If you want to, you can go for Omnin, or you could go for Minakaru. So I've been debating which one of these 3 is the best. I usually just go for Leash, right? So you need 1 level 4, you need the level 1, you need the level 3, right? And you need 1 level 2 synchro, right? So you'll go ahead and grab your Ruby, or you could grab your Fairy. So Ruby, you probably grab Ruby because Ruby gives you the ability to get banished on your opponent's turn. I'm walking you guys through the combo without showing you guys the combo, right? So I'm just talking you through the combo, right? So if Ruby's in your graveyard, you can banish it on your opponent's turn, and now you have a free synchro summon, right? And at the end of the combo, all the time, you always end the combo with Snopios, because when you synchro summon with your level 2 and your level 4, you're going into the Serpent, and Serpent gets to banish your Snopios from deck, and you just banish one of your fish monsters in your graveyard, add Snopios back to hand. So you're always ending this combo with Snopios in hand. It's a guarantee. Snopios is always going to be in your hand. There's no debate about it, right? And then you're always going to have Ruby in the graveyard to pull off that synchro summoning. This is another problem that I have with the deck. The Ruby synchro summoning is too slow. It is way too slow. It should act like a Hope Harbinger, and I think that's what Konami was trying to go for with the effect that when it's special summon, it gets to synchro immediately, but it's not like that. They have the opportunity to interrupt your Ruby. That is so ridiculous. I absolutely hate the fact that Konami didn't make this card stronger. They should have made this card a synchro on summon. So when it comes from the banish zone and it comes to the field, it immediately synchro summons. It doesn't wait until it's special summon and then you get to synchro summon. I think it would have been so much better if it on special summon, it automatically synchro summon. Like if the card read that as soon as this card is special summon, you immediately synchro summon, this card would be so broken. It would be extremely broken, because you could just special summon for this from the deck technically and just synchro with it, right? So it's so much plays that Konami just missed out with that, because now it's susceptible to stuff like Veiler, it's susceptible to stuff like Imperm. Hope Harbinger is not susceptible to this stuff, right? So when you activate Hope in your hand and you synchro, Hope doesn't get negated by Imperm, it doesn't get negated by Veiler. Once Hope hits the field, you select your other target, and then you go into your synchros. I think that's such a better synchro mechanic than how they set Ruby up here with this one. But, you know, it is a slower synchro deck, and I think that's the problem. If they were trying to make Ghoti to be a direct competitor for Tier, which I doubt they were, because then people wouldn't have been playing Tier in the TCG. But I'm just saying, right? If Ghoti was faster in terms of their ability effects, it would be such a better deck, right? Because Tier, yes, there's no quick effects in Tier besides their negates and banish stuff. Not banish, return to deck stuff. But if Ghoti needs to be a lot faster, right? I wish Konami had done that. So anyway, back to this deck. So the main focus of the deck, again, bring out your Deepsea King, bring out your tuners from your deck. You need 3 tuners on the field, one of your level 4s, and then you can just recycle Deepsea King back onto the field using your white aura, and then use Deepsea King again, and that time you'll go for your level 4s, so you'll be able to go into either Stealth Kraken or Abyss Dweller. So up against Tier, this deck full combo, Tier can't play. They just can't play, right? Because the end of the combo, you end on Baron, you end on Shen Yang, if you want to. I personally don't like to end on Shen Yang, but you can end on Baron, you can end on Shen Yang. I choose not to. I rather choose to end on either a monster negate or a monster banish, right? So I either usually end on Berserker or I end on Risen, right? So if you're playing against one of those decks that you think have evenly matched, I would say have the Baron, have the the Risen, because now you have two opportunities to negate evenly matched, just in case, you know. And then you also get to, so you get a level 8, you get a level 10, you get a level 4, and you get a level 10 on your opponent's turn, right? Because you have Snowpios in hand, so you can banish from the field and special summon, and you already have a tuner on the field. So you're going to end the combo with a tuner special summon, Snowpio special summon, Risen, Baron, Dweller, or Kragan, right? Like, your opponent can't play, right? Because you can pop, or you can stop, completely turn off their graveyard, and you get to banish everything on the field, or banish one of their cards and slower banish the entire field. Come on, man. There's really nothing you can do with this deck. The problem is that if you're not able to get Deepsea King on the field, you lose the duel, right? So you draw into too many transmodifies, and you have no way to get into a level 6, you lose the duel. I'm sorry, right? So that's the problem with the deck. So the other version, I think, is a lot faster. This version is a lot slower. It's a lot slower play, right? If you don't get into transmodify, or if you don't have, it's only 2-card combos, so if you don't have Princess and Deepsea King, you can't really do anything. If you have Paces plus Deepsea King, full combo, Princess, Deepsea King, full combo, Snowpiois, 2 fish in your hand, and transmodify and an extra card, full combo. Dustwalker plus transmodify and an extra card, full combo, right? If you're able to get into your level 6 Serpent, like let's say you normal summon Paces banish, and you're able to special summon this, and Paces special summons your shift from hand, and you're able to go into level 6, and you have transmodify, you have an extra heart in your hand, full combo, right? So transmodify is the bridge basically to go into Deepsea King. Now let me go through transmodify really quickly. Transmodify basically allows you to special summon 1 card from the deck with the same, I think it's attribute, right? Same type and attribute, but 1 higher level, right? So everything, most of the deck is level 6s, right? So Dustwalker gets you into level 6 synchro. Snowpios, it's a level 6. That's why we run 3 of them, because we want to be able to special summon level 6 on the field. There's so many ways to get into level 6s in this deck that it makes it so much easier. Personally, I think it's too slow. There's not enough negates in here for me. There's no Ash. So yeah, it gives you flashy combos, but it's really slow, right? So let's jump straight into the other version, which I think is a faster version of Ghoti. And you're able to play a little bit more freely, in my opinion. All right, so here we are. This is the other version of Ghoti that I've been playing. It's a little bit faster. It's not the same, it's not as slow as the other one, but it's a little bit faster, right? So this version of Ghoti, we have the differences is that we have the Ash, right? And we have the crossout designator just in case. So we have more hand traps, right? So this version, we run 9 interruptions on our opponent, and we also run the 3 imperm. I think the other one has 3 imperm as well. And we're able to run the Ghoti trap package. So we run the Ghoti trap, and we also run the Sentry, right? Sentries be able to special summon one of your Ghoti monsters that are banished, and you basically get a free level 8 synchro on your first turn, right? So usually I use that to go into Risen. If you want to, you can switch that out for something else, right? And then we also run the Lifeless Leech Shark combo with Stealth, with Silent Angler in the deck, so that we're able to get 3 bodies on field, right? So just Lifeless Leech plus Shark is Kragan plus Silent, and full synchro plays on your opponent's turn. That's pretty good in my opinion, right? So if you have Lifeless Leech plus Kragan plus not Kragan plus Abyss Shark, you basically get a pop on the field, and you get a banish of one of your opponent's cards. That sounds pretty good to me, in my opinion, right? So this is that version of the deck, and obviously we have the Hope here Squadron, which on your opponent's turn is a quick synchro summon. So you can even go into, let's say, your Xing Yang. You can go into Baron very easily, actually. You can go into Risen if you want. I've been debating if to take out the level 9 and just add in my what's the name of this card? Add in my Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. Let me find that card really quickly for you guys, because it's actually saved me a couple times where I didn't know how to play around certain cards. Where is it? Crystal Wing, Crystal Wing, Crystal Wing, Crystal Wing. Here he is, right? Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. So you can put this into the deck, maybe drop the level 8 synchro for Ghoti that banishes on attack, but in my opinion, that's won me too many duels against Tier, where he would have a Kaleido Heart or a Rukalos, and I'm just trying to banish it as fast as possible, and I would just go into battle, banish it, and then go into Shen Yang, and then continue our plays, and we basically win because of the banish of the Kaleido Heart or Kid Kalos or Rukalos, whatever we banish, right? So you could add this in. I would recommend dropping this, but I would never drop Crocodile. The reason is Crocodile plus Ara, if they get rid of maybe one of your level 4s and you have a Bishark and one of your tuners on field, you can still go into Ara, and then Ara can special summon from the graveyard. If you have Ruby in the graveyard on special summon, Ruby is going to be able to activate its effect, right? It doesn't negate the effect, right? Use the effect. Yeah, it doesn't negate the effect. So once it special summons, it can actually synchro into Crocodile, which is why I run Crocodile in the deck, right? There's just some times where it comes up where a Bishark gets banished or sent to the graveyard or shuffled back into the deck, and you just need to go into a level 7 into a level 9, right? And then based on the cards you have in your hand, you'll be able to pop a card on the field, and you're also to draw on the special summon of this card, right? So just keep that in mind. There's been a couple of games where, you know, I maxed my opponent and this card came onto the field with like 5,000 attack. You just can't make that shit up, right? So anyway, the other thing that makes this version better, in my opinion, is that you're able to run 2 Ruby. So even if you use one of your Rubies, in the other deck, I use one of my Rubies, I lose. But in the other deck as well, I get to activate Deepsea King twice, I win, right? So there's no way you lose if you're able to activate Deepsea King in the other deck, but there are ways to lose with this deck if you're not able to go into your full synchro plays. If your opponent stops you, then, you know, you lose. But this one has a better grind game, in my opinion. The Deepsea King version, you're putting all your monsters and all your abilities onto the field. So if you get Kaiju, if you get Lava Golem, any stuff like that, then you basically lose the duel. This version of the deck, you're able, even if they Lava Golem you, Kaiju you, whatever, they banish your mount, they tribute your monster, special summon, whatever to the field, this deck still has so much grind game in it. Because if they put a level 8 on your field, guess what? That's a free Baron, that's a free Shen Yang. If you have Hope Harbinger in your hand, right? So, you know, in my opinion, this version of the deck has a much better grind game than the Deepsea King version of the deck, right? So I can jump into some replays, prove to you guys what I'm talking about. I'm actually now thinking maybe I should put Crystal Wing Synchro into this deck. I'm actually going to think about that, right? So anyway, let's jump straight into the replays, right? I'm going to show you guys replays with this version. If you want to see replays, mostly replays of the other version I showed you guys, go check out the Ghoti replays video that we uploaded earlier this week. So yeah, be right back. All right, so the first duel that we're going to look at is against Heroes. I know it's against Heroes, but it just shows you guys the grind game ability of the deck, right? So he's going to interrupt me a whole lot. And yes, I'm going second, and I should have maxed seed right there, but I didn't want to, just in case he had like Gamma or something, right? You never know. I saw a hero player the other day playing Gamma, so I was like, you know what, let me just wait till this shit comes to the field, and then we activate my Max C, right? So here we go. He's going to do a whole bunch of shenanigans. He doesn't want to make me draw too much, so he's just going to set pass, right? So with this hand here, let me just talk you guys through this hand, right? So with this hand here, if you have access to Field Spell and you have access to Omen, or you have one of your other guardian monsters in your hand that you can normal summon and give you extra plays, it's basically full combo on your turn, right? So you don't need your opponent's turn to special summon once you have Field Spell, because then you can just search out, and then on the search you can special summon and then normal summon, right? So keep that in mind, right? So just giving y'all an example, right? So you guys are gonna see me do it here. We're gonna go ahead and banish, go ahead and search Snopios. And then off the banish, we can normal special summon. And now we have an extra special summon, right? So now we're able to go into our other plays of going into our synchro plays, right? Go ahead and banish Snopios, get Snopios to my hand, right? So we have both Snopios in rotation, which is super dope, yo. If you have both Snopios in rotation, it is extremely fire, trust me, right? So let me explain the 2 Snopios in rotation thing, right? If you have a Guardian graveyard and you have a Guardian hand, and your 2 Snopios in hand, you can banish one of the Snopios in hand, send one of your Guardians that's in the graveyard, special summon your Snopios, choose one of the cards on the field, not your Snopios, Snopios, the reason is because the Snopios you just banished, you're going to banish one of your monsters in your graveyard, add that one back to your hand. So the one that's on the field goes to the graveyard, and then you could keep on reoccurring, banish each, like, use one Snopios to banish the other Snopios, use that Snopios to bring it back to your hand. So if you have both Snopios in your hand, you can literally just use the two of them to banish themselves so that you're always adding one of them back to your hand. So keep that in mind, right? That's Ghoti tip number 1. Alright, so right here, we're going to go ahead and special summon our Ghoti monsters from the banish zone. He's going to go ahead and Forbidden Droplet inside of the standby phase, which I respect him for. But we have Hope here, Havenger, right? Squadron, Hope here, Squadron, right? So Squadron this is what I'm telling you guys. I like Squadron so much because Squadron still gives you access to all your synchro plays on your opponent's turn. Right there, I could have gone into a Xing Yang. I could have banished the entire field if I wanted to, but I chose not to. Why? Because we have access to Snopios and we have Ruby in the graveyard, so we still have access to our level 10s. And I wanted to specifically target so I can get this into rotation for the other turn, right? Because this is going to banish itself, and then when it banishes itself, I banish a monster, and when it banishes, I can special summon it back to the field, right? So he's going to stop the banish, but Snopios is still going to get banished. I mean, Ruby is still going to get banished and special summon to the field, and then we could just go into our level 10 synchro plays, banish the entire field, and that basically wins us the duel, right? Because he can't do anything else. We already know what he searched. He has no spells or traps. We're not giving him the ability to activate Vion's effect, so he might as well back out because next turn he's done for, right? So that was this game. On to the next duel. All right, again, guys, these replays are just to show you guys the best version of me playing with the combos with the deck. If you guys want to see more competitive gameplay, go check out the replay video. I uploaded it earlier this week. It's doing crazy on the channel. I appreciate all the love from that video, right? So it's not the greatest opponent plays, like our opponent doesn't do the craziest stuff in this video. I'm just showing you guys the best version of your hands with this deck, right? So we're gonna go ahead and we draw into Lifeless Leech. Let's analyze my hand one more time. So we drew into Leech, we drew into Field Spell. I told you guys already, Field Spell plus Leech, basically full combo, right? So let me show you, right? So right here, we're gonna go ahead and banish what we dumped to the graveyard using Lifeless Leech, and then that gives us the ability to special summon Omen. Now, let me pause this real quick. Now, if we had Shark in hand, this combo would have gone even crazier because we would have been able to special summon Shark, still be able to get Angler on the field. So we could have done Angler, Shark. Oh my god, I'm now thinking about that. That would have been crazy. We could have done Stealth Kraken and Abyss Dweller for this turn, and still have the ability to fusion on my opponent's turn. So let me show you guys, right? So we're gonna go ahead and go into Abyss Dweller because we know we're going up against Tier, right? And I'm just gonna show you guys the full combo. The turn is gonna go to him, and it's gonna go into standby phase, and we're gonna bring back the monster that we banished on my turn. Remember, we still have plays in our hands, so we have Ruby. We just need access to Snopios, right? So we're gonna go ahead. He's gonna go into main phase. He's gonna attempt to end his main phase. This is why I start synchro summoning. So we go ahead and we synchro summon into our Serpent. Serpent is gonna go ahead and dump our Snopios. This is how we get our Snopios in hand. We go ahead and banish our Sheaf, add Snopios back to our hand, activate Snopios, banish those two, get Ruby in the banish zone, Ruby special summon itself, go ahead and synchro summon, and then we're gonna go ahead and synchro summon into our Ascan. Ascan is going to activate. We're going to banish Ascan, banish this card. Really quick tip, when you're resolving your chains, resolve Serpent, then Ascan. Ascan can't be ashed, Serpent can be ashed, right? So make sure to chain block your Serpent. Serpent gives you access to any fish monster in your deck that's the same level or lower than the monster that you banish. So you always banish Serpent. That's tip number 2, right? So continuing the plays. So now Ascan is on the field. Ascan is going to banish itself, and then we're going to be able to banish my other Ghoti in the graveyard, special summon Ascan back, and then on end phase, during standby phase, the turn is going to turn back to me, and then we're going to be able to special summon both of our Ghoti monsters that we banished last turn from the banish zone onto the field. And then now we have full plays, right? Because we could go into Sheng Yang, we could go into Baron, we could go into Ryzen. The plays is unlimited, right? Because we have the normal summon in hand to be able to special summon back from the graveyard, from the banish zone, all that. So we had incredible plays that turn right there. So let me go ahead and show you guys another replay. Maybe this one will be more competitive, but I'm just trying to show you guys all the possible combos that you have with my personal favorite and best version of the deck, right? So let's move on. Alright, so this replay is a lot more competitive, right? Because we're up against Tearlaments. He actually gets to do full Tearlaments plays. I am not able to stop him, right? So we're going to go ahead and analyze this real quick. So he is running the Seamare package. I looked at his deck list. He has 3 Rhino and 1 Seamare. I'm not too sure why, but whatever. He has it, right? So we're going to go ahead. We're going to activate Minakaru. So Minakaru gets to special summon to the field if they activate Rhino or if they activate, you know, Seamare. It doesn't matter. Usually if you have Minakaru in hand, they activate Rhino, you get a free body on field, right? So that's how you get an extra body on field. We had the Imperm to stop him from dumping. He's going to activate Scream, and that ends his plays. Thank God. I guess he bricked, right? So let's see if we can pull off some plays here. So we're going to go ahead and activate Normal Summon Leech. Go ahead and dump and special summon our Stealth Kraken. Pop his Seamare, make him take 750. I have Call by the Grave and I have Imperm and I have Maxi in hand, so I feel super confident going into this duel, right? Going into the second half of this duel. So really and truly, this is a duel of like 2 halves, right? So the first half I was winning, the second half he was winning, and then the third half somehow I won. So anyway, so he's gonna go ahead, search out his planet. We're gonna activate Maxi off of the special summoning of his Sharon. So when Sharon gets special summoned, he gets to dump, and I also get to draw a card, and he starts milling because he goes ahead and he mills his Yugioh, and he also mills his shufflers, right? So he can mill 3 plus 5. That's 8 cards he's getting to mill right there. He's gonna Keldo shuffle back his Havness. When I target it with the Call by the Grave, I wanted to force him to have to shuffle that back, but he's milling 8 anyway, so there's a chance of him hitting another tier name. So I guess that's why he took the chance of just shuffling it back. So right here, he hits Rhino and he hits Havness again. So Havness is what he just activated, so he's not going to be able to fusion summon. So I'm like, okay, perfect. Let me just pop his Sharon and see if he fusion summons. So he goes ahead, he fusion summons with his Sharon into Kick Hallows. We go ahead and get our Imperm popped off of his planet, so I can't even negate Kick Hallows anymore, but we're continuously drawing, right? So I'm like, okay, if he gets rid of my Stealth Kraken, it's cool because we'll have 5+ cards in our hand, and starting next turn with 5+ cards plus the special summon of my 2 monsters that are already banished, you know, that sounds good to me. Snowpios is in the graveyard, and just look at my graveyard really quickly. We have Ruby, so if we draw into a Snowpios, we have full plays on my opponent's turn, which is even better, right? So he's going to go ahead and resolve his Merly, resolve Rhino. That's 2 special summons I get to pull off right now when they come to the field. And hopefully one of the draws is Snowpiois. Okay, so we get Hope Air, which is dope on the following turn. And then he gets to special summon his Rhino Heart, right? I mean, Rue Kalos. So Rue Kalos being on field now turns off Snowpiois altogether. Unless it's my turn, right? Because on my turn, I have way more special summons than just 1 special summon, right? And then he goes into Elf. Cool. Elf turns off the ability to target his Rue Kalos with Imperm. So now I'm like, you know what? I gotta make him use as much of his interruptions as possible and see what happens. So we go ahead and we activate Ruby to banish my Snowpiois, so I can add my Snowpiois back to hand. Reason is we have another Ruby in graveyard, so we're cool with that. We're gonna go ahead and activate Call by the Grave on him activating Elf to bring his Merly to field. It's gonna force him to Medora, send Merly back to the deck, so he has to have another tier name in his hand to send off of the negate of Rue Kalos to be able to fusion summon anymore, right? So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna activate our Ghoti that special summons off of banishing, and he's gonna negate that with Rue Kalos. The fact that he sent Rue Kalos let me know that he didn't have anything else in his hand, so I'm like, okay, perfect, he has no Havness, let me continue playing. So we activate Max C. He's gonna bring Rue Kalos back to the field. We're gonna get a draw. We draw into Shifter. This is when I was playing Shifter in the deck. I dropped Shifter. Reason is because to facilitate Shifter, I had dropped 2 Imperms. So I just got rid of the Shifters altogether and added in 2 extra Imperms. So now we have 3 Imperms inside of the deck, right? So that's currently what we have. But for this specific duel, I was running 2 Shifters, right? So we're gonna go ahead and shuffle back just so we can pull off a draw, and we draw into Chain. And then we can normal summon our Paces, special summon our Abyss Shark, go into Abyss Keeper. The reason is because Abyss Keeper gives you the second effect is the ability you can target 1 card other fish monster on the field and banish 1 card you control and banish 1 card your opponent controls, right? So that's why we went into Abyss Keeper, because I know I could special summon Minaraku from my hand. If I had another fish in my hand, we could have special summoned that. We go ahead and give Abyss Dweller 500 attack, so we could beat over elves, so we could target his root Kalos, banish his root Kalos, and then we pass turn with just setting Ghoti Chain, which we drew off of Max C. Funny enough, so Max C technically won this duel for me. So we're gonna go ahead and special summon our Shift from the graveyard, activate Chain. Chain is gonna go ahead and banish my Abyss Keeper, and we're gonna go ahead and special summon up our Snowpioise. Reason is because when Snowpioise activates here, I can't remember, did I target his Sharon? Now, if you target their, I didn't target his Sharon in this instance, but I targeted my own Snowpioise because I wanted to banish the other Ruby that's in my graveyard for follow-up, right? Just so we could clear his entire board. That's why I wanted that. So he's gonna go ahead into kick Kalos, which I technically should have waited, but nothing I could do about that. He's gonna be able to pop with paces. So we're gonna go ahead and force that's gonna force the activation of Shift, not paces, I'm sorry. And then we're gonna go ahead and synchro summon into our Ascan. This is where Hope Air comes in so perfectly clutch, right? So he's gonna fusion summon into his Dracostapelia. So usually when you're up against Tear and you're playing Ghoti, they'll always choose Dracostapelia over their other monsters, right? I didn't even target the Dracostapelia. I was baiting him. I wanted him to activate that Dracostapelia on my Ascan, so we could activate Hope Air. And this is the perfect example. Up against Tear, you draw into Hope Air, you literally have Dracostapelia Protection, which is the card that they always go into because they're scared to go into anything else. So Dracostapelia is going to complete his chain. Ascan is going to activate. So right here, this is how I win the duel, right? Because he's going to realize, oh shit, this guy's about to banish my entire field, right? So watch this. We have Snowpioise in hand. We have Ruby in the graveyard. Where's Ruby? No, we have Ruby in the banish zone. We just banished Ruby in the last chain, right? So Ruby is about to special summon to the field. We have Snowpioise in hand. We have more than enough fish monsters in the graveyard to be able to banish them and then special summon by them, pull off some special summons back to the field, right? So Ascan is one of them. We banish Ascan, we can bring Ascan back to the field. Zep Ruby is about to special summon to the field and synchro summon. And then Qing Yang's Supreme Qing Yang is about to resolve as well, right? Because we already banished cards while Qing Yang is on the field. So if you look at this, we get to banish his Dracostapelia. On the summon of Snowpioise, we can banish Ascan, bring Ascan back. Ruby's going to special summon, so we get to banish another card on the field because we have not used, actually, now thinking about it, I would have banished Scream, and then we would have gone into White Whale, and White Whale would have popped his Dracostapelia, and that's how we would have won the duel, right? Because, you know, I know he hasn't normal summoned yet. He hasn't normal summoned, but I think he doesn't have any rhinos. And that's the problem, right? Because he has one rhino there, and I think the other rhino's in his deck. So off of the chain reaction, he sees that he's about to lose because he has no normal summon in his hand. So he just backs out, right? So that's a more impressive duel. Shout out to Hope Air. I think Hope Air in the deck makes it so much more solid. And I think all of the Ghoti monsters really and truly should have had like a similar synchro effect as Hope Air, because they would have been so much better if they were like that. But you know, shout out to Konami for giving us the deck, for giving us the Ghoti cards, and yeah. So anyway, guys, some adjustments you can make to the deck. You can drop the whole chain package and just add in Shifter if you wanted to. This is another option for the deck, so you could just go ahead and drop the trap card and drop the other Ghoti that off the normal summon you can special summon back from your banish zone. If you want to, you know, just run Shifter. Shifter is a good option in the deck, but you know, personally, I ain't really like Shifter like that. And then another alterations you can make to the deck, you could add in the Synchro Jargon. Of course, I told you guys about that already. Let me go ahead and find it and show you guys exactly what cards to remove. So usually I would just get rid of Spear. In my opinion, Spear goes really well into the matchup against Tear. So that's why I will never get rid of Spear, me personally. But you can switch out. You can take Spear out and just add in your Crystal Wing. I wouldn't drop Ryzen because Ryzen gives you the Ryzen Dragite gives you the ability to stop your opponent from evenly matching you if you can't get into Baron the floor, right? So you always want that ability. And then against Runic and stuff like that, oh, this deck cooks Runic because Runic gets to banish in your deck. You just special summon everything back. It's crazy. Anyway, so anyways, been your boy Jay Pizzy, guys. Thank you guys so much for the love on the replays video. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And make sure to like, comment, subscribe. All 90% of you that keep on returning to my videos, please subscribe. We're trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Please just subscribe. Look at me. I was about to say 100K. I'm not even close to 700 subscribers yet. We're about to hit 600 subs. 1 month after, not even 20 days after we hit 500 subs. That's insane. So please, guys, like, comment, subscribe. Any questions you guys got down below, just drop them in the comments down below. Join the Discord. In the Discord, you guys can drop your replays for me to review so we could do a subscriber replays review. That would be so dope in my opinion. Just go ahead and join the Discord, drop in your replays, add in your player ID, and tell me what game you want me to look at, and I'm going to go ahead and look at that game. The Discord is not there for us to people to chat yet. You can chat in it, but I'm just not active in it because I'm very busy outside of that because of life, right? Because I have a full-time job, kid, growing up, right? All that stuff, right? So, been your boy Jay Pizzy. Stay blessed, stay highly favored. Peace. Aqualad season 1, 2, 3, not season 4. That shit is funny as hell, yo.